Animation is really hard. Once you've learned the basics of animation, you've bounced your balls, you've learned and studied about the 12 principles, how do you actually animate what you want? You started learning animation because you wanted to do cool shit like fight scenes, explosions, sakuga, maybe making your own anime. But how do you actually bridge that gap when all you know is bouncing balls? The answer is animation studies. This is something that took me such a long time to figure out, but I offer it to you so long as you can promise me that you'll make good use of it. And you can thank me by just becoming a crazy animator and spamming what I'm gonna teach you to level up as much as possible. Also, tag me in those if you guys post them online. I love to watch your guys' animations and stuff. Animation studies is what I would essentially describe as a process of carefully observing and noticing patterns of movement, spacing, and timing in a chosen animation, video, or image sequence by roughly replicating it. This process allows you to essentially go into the mind of any animator you choose and lets you closely examine their choices and briefly borrow their power. It sounds super anime, but believe me, this is real. And once you do it, I know you'll understand. This method is super diverse and essentially gives you the freedom to do whatever you want since it's basically applicable to anything. The wonderful thing about this process is that it's relatively the same regardless of whatever subject you choose. So say I wanted to animate explosions or fight scenes, the process I would actually have to go through won't change very much, if at all, actually. Which is really neat because once you get better at it, you basically become much faster at learning things than you ever have before. In essence, this is just the skill of learning how to learn, but just for animation. The first step of the process is research. This is just the part where you find clips that inspire you, that you want to be able to animate like, anything that's relevant to what you actually want to learn. This is usually the easiest part since you most likely already have a few ideas and you already have a few things in mind of what you want to do. YouTube is a great resource to find sakuga clips. There are hundreds of compilations that you can use as reference, as well as the built-in frame scroller in the website itself, which is extremely convenient. Animators often also use Sakugaboru, which is a really good resource to find sakuga and other anime-related materials. It also has a built-in frame scroller. You can also always find or record your own references, whether it be from a game you really like or if it's an animation reference you made yourself, or something from a movie, series, or anime. You can convert these clips that you've gathered into image sequences and import them into Clip Studio. If you're unsure about how to do that, I'll just link a video. Step 2. Animation study. Cool. We have the source material we want to study. All that's left for us to do now is actually study it. I'm going to take you with me on a live demo as I actually study a piece myself and show you the entire process that I go through. But before that, here are some tips and pointers to keep in mind. So I have everything set up so we can actually start now. So I usually like to go for like a larger brush. So something like this or this. I would really avoid going for lines this thin, just because then you'll get distracted in the actual drawing itself, and that can be very counterintuitive because we're not really studying like drawing now, we're doing animation stuff. I think I'll stick with the rough one. It's small enough that it's good, but also too big to get caught up in details. Awesome. So I'm just gonna start drawing now and just talking about the stuff that I notice. So yeah, first frame, it just starts off like this. The guy jumps out. He has this super exaggerated pose that I'm noticing. It's already very clear what's happening. I'm gonna ignore the door break for now because I don't care about that. But maybe we'll come back to it. That pose is so funny. I just realized like how exaggerated that is. And it doesn't have to be perfect either. I never, like, you really don't have to make it super perfect or go back and make sure your drawing lines up perfectly. The point of it for me right now is just to basically discover the motion. See, in one frame he moves that far, so we're gonna try and emulate that. He reaches like here. You really want to keep the energy of the drawing more than anything. Yeah, I think ours has to be a little bit lower too. I think that's okay. Oh my god, he actually hits himself on the wall. I never saw that. This is why I love this guy, man. He has like hidden jokes and everything. That's so funny. Dude, some animators just, you can tell they're just such a funny person, you know, they have that sense of humor. He's having fun with it too. That's awesome. So he lands super fast, hits his head against the wall. I want to make sure, I'm also not sure if that foot is tracking, so I'll just check. And yep, it is. So I'm just gonna shift that over here, just so it makes sense. I may have made that leg a bit too long. And then he recovers almost immediately. He swaps legs. Cool. He uses a lot of straights, which I'm not used to. Like, extreme straights. It's not something I'm used to seeing at all. And then he leads with his head here, the hands falling behind. I'm just checking again the head. Okay, so I did miss that thing. So you see here the legs tracking. I completely missed that. So we're just gonna go back and adjust that so it's a little bit more accurate. I think it's small things like this that actually link the poses together. So you want to pay attention to stuff like that. And then we have an extreme high frame where that back arm comes forward and so does that leg. And he just shoots up straight. Very cool pose. That's so cool, man. He jumps forward so much that he completely loses balance. Wow. The hands are also super simplified. The drawing is incredibly simple. So here he's gonna go a bit forward too, just because we're moving forward in space. It's very, very slight. Maybe I overdid it. You can already see the difference in like the skill. His drawing looks so effortless. Okay, this one pretty typical. Just a recovery after the extreme. So he recovers. The leg bends a little bit. That knee comes back forward. And that foot is hidden in the back. The arm comes back. That foot comes up again. Super cool. The back foot slides a little bit. Again with those extremes, he really pushes his poses. Guess I should do that more in my own work. If you're going for that cartoony style, I think it has its place, like when you want that and when you don't. But I just think it's so cool. It stands out a lot and it really grabs your attention. Makes you, I don't know, focus to see what's going on. Okay, let me just check the tracking. So that foot does slide a little bit. It's crazy because all of like the drawings are popping so far. It's already looking like his work. That's incredible. I'm noticing he basically does like very little of those in-between frames. Everything he puts is like a decisive it's a very decisive like how do you say this? Like a keyframe, you know? I guess it is like a very beginner mistake to put in frames just to fill the time, because you don't know what else to do there. You put in weak frames instead of just leaving it, but here it's super concise. It feels like it all has a place, which I really like. And it shows, like I'm pretty sure even someone who's not like an animator, someone that's not paying attention to that stuff would feel that energy and be like, what the hell did I just watch? Awesome. So I think this pose has to be a little bit more there's like a gap between them. I guess that does justify it, so I just have to scoot it over here and a little bit down. Yep. And then he starts slipping. Oh yeah. It's the Imaishi style right here. And then the actual slip. Feel bad for this guy. He's about to eat it. Like fully extended. Oh, he even added a little bit of VFX. We can do that as well. It's very minor. I noticed it in the earlier ones too, but I think this one's the most important one. Yeah, like here too. He has a little bit. Just to show that slide of the foot. That's interesting. That he connects them that way. I'm not being super consistent with my drawings either, and that's fine. My priority is not the drawings at all. It's mainly just the motion and how the feeling of it is, as well as the composition and how the drawings relate to each other, spacing wise. All of that stuff that actually affects the animation itself is what's important. Everything else I don't think matters. Even the background, like I don't care. You can draw it if you want to, but definitely not necessary. I think the one thing I would discourage you to do is to actually like trace over the clip if you're really bad at drawing or like super new to drawing. Maybe you can do that, or if you're not like a person that draws, if you're a 3D animator or something where that's not even your like medium, then I guess it's fine. It's better than nothing, that's for sure. But yeah, I would just highly encourage you to actually do it with your hand and to eyeball it, just because it's so much more beneficial and you build your eye as well. Like your eye gets better at noticing certain things. But I'm not gonna like fully discourage you from doing it. If that is the only way that you can do it, then do it. It's definitely better than not doing it at all. Or it can be like a good starting point if you don't feel comfortable without tracing it. So he falls. This one's a weird frame, I'm not gonna lie. I don't really know what's going on. But it looks like he's just slipping. He's trying to catch himself with that other foot. He recovers immediately. That's insane. He falls in 1, 2, 3, and then immediately gets up like it was nothing. It's like these mini stories within the actual action. Lifts his leg again. Okay, so he's leaning a lot that way. So let's see what happens. Okay, so it's just a direction change. He pushes up this way, goes back the other way. Direction change, lands, gets up, and then goes off camera. Cool. Okay, we're almost done with this one. So just trying to notice that spacing between the feet and how far the character is moving forward. That's something that's super tricky because you want to create that depth. But you can see already the character is so much bigger. So we'll try and do that. Maybe I went a little bit too big there. Yeah, I think that's better. And that hand coming closer to the cam as well. Again, that recovery frame that we saw earlier. This is just like, if you don't know what this is just like if you've ever done running cycles, it's a very, after you do a few of them, you just recognize it's just the recovery after that extend where the leg is straight. You have that, what do they call, I guess it's called the down frame, where you fully recover. It's just the leg is down and there's always the other leg following. It's a very clear pattern once you're used to it. But yeah, this is where the drawings start to get super wacky because you're foreshortening a lot. Very nice. I like that arm. It's a nice arm. And his head is so much bigger. My drawing's not perfect, but again, it doesn't matter. We're trying to just get the overall motion. We're trying to understand the theory as well behind it. So I'm just gonna shift it up just to make space for that foot. So it just makes sense. The arms going down really adds to that energy of the thing, of him like recovering. And then you should go straight up again. Yep. That's a wild like jump, but I guess it makes sense the way this guy's jumping. So yeah, that's super extreme right there. Awesome. Good job. Good job on that one. And then the foot comes out of nowhere. Not out of nowhere, but from almost not visible to being giant on screen. It's very cool. And it has to be like over here. And this leg's a little bit straighter. So that's the more important things, is just composition wise it has to follow the same thing, just so it makes sense. And then that leg comes down. I'm joking. I'm not like that. Unless... No, I'm joking. Yeah, you just have those feet over here. And then continue that leg. And then you can see the little leg in the back. And he has even the shadow of the thing. Awesome! Good job! Study 1 completed. Now we can just play it. And with all of our knowledge, we now understand this. You might not understand it on your first try. You might have to do it more than a few times. And I probably have to. I don't think I was able to absorb everything that we just did, but just doing this, I am a lot more in tune with like his way of animating and his thought process and like what he's thinking. It's really, really good. So that's awesome. Thank you, Maishi. Thank you, Maishi-kun. I'm not putting that in, dude. Awesome. So after we've done our research, which was step 1, we've done our animation study. All that's left for us to do now is to actually put everything that we've learned into practice. So while doing the studies, we've made a lot of mental notes. In the practice is where you actually test if you've understood things clearly. And most of the time, it's unlikely that you'll get it on the first try, which is fine. But yeah. So one thing that you really want to avoid is to not get stuck in the animation study phase. It can be very easy to just do 100 billion studies and never actually try and pull it into the next step, which is practice. But I would urge you to try and fight that as much as possible and try and be conscious of if you get stuck here because you're too nervous to animate your own thing, because you're trying to avoid like your skill level or whatever else. Just don't get stuck here, because there's a limit to how much this will help you if you don't move it on to the next step, which is the actual practicing stuff. So just to save time, I've already done mine and I'm just gonna walk you through it. It's not anything amazing, by the way, like, and it doesn't have to be for you either. This is just like trying to pull knowledge as much as you can and sort of testing how much you've understood. So this is the first one I did. It came off as like such a similar vibe to the actual study, which is fine. It'll happen sometimes. I wouldn't use this just because it's so similar, but let me show you again. It's just a guy that jumps, hits a wall again. Same concepts that we did in our thing, but this time I added my own poses and it was a lot of my stuff. Yeah, I feel like I haven't fully understood how Imaishi was able to create his popping frames the way he does, and it sort of reflects it in my like work here. Yeah, so this is something studies will do to you, is that you kind of feel dumb afterwards, that you don't really understand despite going frame by frame, but that only means that it's working. You should be feeling stupid here. It means your brain is expanding. So what I would do typically here is just go back, do a bit more studies, and then try this again. But kind of didn't have time because I want to do this video quickly. So I just did, where is it? I did another one. So this is the other animation I did. I tried to keep it like inspired by some of the stuff I learned, not keeping the poses separate, adding a lot of story elements where I can. So like she trips here in the beginning, you can kind of see it, and then recovers, and then jumps again, and then slips, and then as she falls, she gets pushed back, flips, and then we cut to a different camera angle where she flips here. You kind of have to... I didn't fill in the ground. Like if this was a proper shot, I would do the ground moving forward so people would understand like why. Because here it just looks like she's spinning, but she's actually hitting the ground and spinning with it. Same thing with this shot. I would have to have like a background moving backwards, but I think it's fine. This was just for me to test like my knowledge and if I understood from Imaishi, and I think I did. I took away a lot of stuff. I tried to not completely let his style take over because he does super simplified poses and stuff, which I like a lot, but I don't want to completely take that. Yeah, so you can always pick and choose what you want and what you don't want. But yeah, this was my result, and this is pretty much everything that I wanted to talk about. It's super simple in theory, but of course it's much harder in practice. You need to do a lot of these and very regularly if you want to deepen your understanding of animation. The amount of people that have asked me for this video or something like this video has been pretty overwhelming. I did my best to keep it concise and to the point and offer you all of my knowledge and experience. Animation is so hard and it's never gonna be easy, but with this process you can sort of expedite your learning and pull it into any which direction you want and basically go from there. I've used this process a lot for my own stuff, and this is basically how I've taught myself anything that I've wanted to learn in animation. Let me know if this has been of any use or if I've missed anything or if you want me to cover something else. But yeah, that's all I have to say. Thank you guys.